So I'm sure by now you've seen Artemi Panarin's video circulating of him. He says he's working on his power play finish in this video, but he's also painting his house, and he's showing that he still has some pretty good mobility, given the Rockettes a little run for their money there with the high kick at the end. So my question, last week we were talking, is that the videos that you were sending out from your staff to train? Are those the practices that you were talking about, the exercise?
No. Roller painting a wall and working on your wrist and slap shot and your celebration after a goal was not part of our improvement videos we were sending out. But, obviously, as we touched on last week, it shows you how much fun this guy has, even in the toughest of situations. And it's what makes him the player he is. And, it's funny, though, and the thing that I touched on also is his work ethic. And one of the things that he is, he's very creative in how he improves himself. We talk an awful lot about, off-ice training, and it's amazing some of the things he does. And he can even find a way to get better paint in the garage. So that's a unique talent.
So we know about players like Mika Zibanejad, who obviously they really enjoy DJing. That's a hobby that they have on the side. And he's actually very good at that. Are there any hidden hobbies for other guys on the team that maybe we don't know about, but they're pretty good at it?
Well, the one thing about Mika's hobby is, like you just touched, he's very good at it. This is something he could probably do for a living if he wasn't the elite player that he was from a hockey standpoint. One of the things that happens when we travel, you go into these hotels, and these got some nice hotels and some nice lobbies, and there's always a piano in a hotel, and it's always a lot of fun watching Chris Kreider saddle up to a piano and start playing the piano. He's a pretty good piano player. So that's one that jumps out at me. And we've got a bunch of guys that are really good golfers, not a surprise. But Kreider on the piano is pretty impressive.
Well, we all have a little extra time on our hands right now. I've actually been reading cooking recipes. I never used to read them. I just went from what I knew from my mom. And you guys won't believe what vinegar can do to a pot of boiling water when you put poached eggs in there.
I was waiting for you to tell the poached egg story.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
You should, Quinny, my poached eggs look like they're on HGH, okay? It's unbelievable. So my question to you is there anything that you've sort of picked up with all this extra time on your hands?
Yeah, I'm reading this book called Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. And, every now and then I wish I read more. I spend, a lot of time, not a lot of time, but you watch TV and you're trying to get some downtime when you're away from the rink. But, you're always trying to read and maybe find a different angle from a coaching standpoint. And I think you can learn an awful lot from, different leaders in different situations, whether it be business or other sports. And this is a pretty good book. I'm halfway through it, and it's very interesting. It talks about, obviously, and this is something that we all know, and a lot of times I think when you read it, maybe just reiterate some of the things you already feel as a coach or a leader. And it talks about, conquering external danger. And, the only way you can have that if you don't have any internal danger. And it talks about the trust factor. And it's an interesting book. And like I said, I don't read as much as I should. So this downtime is giving me an opportunity to read a little bit more.